Here's 15 ways to overcome procrastination even when you don't feel like doing it. Number 1, self-talk. Say to yourself, I can easily get started. I can easily get started. I can easily get started. I can easily get started on this paper. I can easily get started on washing the dishes. I can easily get started on whatever task it is. Just repeating this to yourself over and over will strangely put yourself into a good state where you feel like you can do it. It sounds cheesy, it sounds stupid, it doesn't seem like it would work, but try it out. Do it 50, 100 times. Just repeat it over and over and over. I can easily get started. I can easily get started. And see how that works for you. Another kind of self-talk you can say is, no one can stop me. I will do it and no one can stop me. This utilizes the idea that you're resisting authority. A lot of procrastination is actually resisting somebody telling you what to do. You can't tell me what to do. Oh yeah, well I don't think you can do it at all. Oh yeah, well I'll do it and you can't stop me. So say to yourself, I will do it and no one can stop me. Number 2, a 5-second countdown. Say, I'm gonna start on the count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And get yourself really hyped up. This will give you a burst of energy to get going. Number 3, utilize boredom. Just sit there, open up the document, open up whatever it is you're trying to work on. Stand in front of the dishes, stand in front of the laundry and just sit there and look at it until you get really bored. And then you're like, well, I may as well do this. It's more interesting than just looking at this. Number 4, use a timer. Set a timer for 5 minutes and say, I'm only gonna work on this for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I can stop if I want to, or I'll keep going only if I'm having fun. Hit the timer, get started. You can use it with that countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And then work on it for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you can do anything for 5 minutes. If 5 minutes seems like too much, set it for 1 minute. Number 5, use a stopwatch. Instead of a timer, say, let's see how long I can do this. Make it a challenge. Can you do it for 60 seconds? Can you do it for 2 minutes? Can you do it for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Let's find out. It's a challenge. Number 6, imaginary delegation. Imagine delegating this task to someone else. Explain out loud how you would start. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to click on this tab. Open a new tab, type in MailChimp.com. All right, log into MailChimp. Create a new campaign, whatever it is. So explain the steps out loud as if you're delegating it to someone else. Another version of imaginary delegation is do this as you're actually doing the task. Say, if I'm not gonna do it right now, but if I was gonna do it, here's what I do. First I do this, and then I do this, and then as you're actually physically doing it. It's a bizarre kind of thing, but it can really help. Number 7, the warm-up. Start really slowly doing the task. Don't do it quickly. Don't try to get it done as fast as possible. Just ease into it like you're warming up at the gym. Just barely doing it very slowly and gently at first, and only go faster when you feel excited and interested and engaged. Number 8, use adverbs. On your to-do list, you mostly have actions like send email to Bob about X, draft notes for Y, whatever it is, but you don't have how you're gonna do that. You don't have any ly words, any adverbs, like gently, enthusiastically, confidently, lazily, whatever it is. Add some adverb into your to-do and then try to do it with that tone, with that manner of doing it. Play around with this, get creative, use your creativity and bring it into how you do the task. So it's not just forcefully, aggressively, painfully, annoyingly, but joyfully, enthusiastically, peacefully. Number 9, difficulty prediction versus reality tracking. This one comes from cognitive behavioral therapy. The basic idea is whenever we procrastinate, we're estimating that the difficulty of the task is going to be massive, 10 out of 10, whereas the reality is that it's not so bad. You've been putting something off for weeks, months, years, decades. You finally do it. It takes 15 minutes and it was a piece of cake. Why have I been putting it off so long? Well, how do you fix that? Make a little spreadsheet. I predict it's going to be 5 out of 10. The actual reality was it's a 1 out of 10. Do this enough times, it will change your beliefs about how hard things are, which will change how you feel about them when you think about doing the task, and then you'll get started easily. Number 10, talk to another human being. Human beings have a great way of helping us to figure out where to get started. Oftentimes, if we're just stuck in our head, we're overwhelmed, we don't even know where to begin. You talk to another person, they can help you figure that out in 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, just sorting through specifics so that you can get started easily. Number 11, think on paper. Nobody around, no human to talk to, I get it. Just go ahead and write on paper or in a text document, just as if you're talking to someone, This is also called rubber ducking, because programmers don't like to be interrupted by other programmers who are like, hey, can you help me solve this programming problem? And then they start talking, and then they figure out as they're talking, the other person doesn't even have to say anything. So there was this idea of getting a rubber duck for your desk. You talk to the rubber duck as if it's another programmer, and you say, hey, let me think through this problem with you. And then you come up with the answer, and you don't have to interrupt somebody else who's deep in the middle of a complex problem. So write on paper, talk to a rubber duck, talk out loud, go to the bathroom and just have a conversation with yourself. Work through the ideas out loud. Number 12, driving in a fog. You can make it all the way from LA to New York City in a fog if you can only see 50 feet in front of you. Sometimes we don't get started because we think we have to know the whole path. We have to be able to see it all at once, but it actually emerges as we take steps forward. So just using this analogy, if you just start taking some steps forward, if you know any of the steps for a project or a task, just begin with those and then see where it goes from there. Number 13, app or website blockers. There's all sorts of software now that will block apps, that will block distracting websites. I use something called freedom.to, but there's other things called self-control for the Mac and various apps for iOS, Android, Windows, and so on that will block Reddit, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Steam, whatever it is that distracts you from getting started. That can be an obstacle to just getting started, to being able to go and do more interesting, fun things on the internet that give you that dopamine fix. So block those and see if that helps you to get started. Number 14, turn off notifications. Everyone nowadays gets way too many notifications on their phone and even on their computer these days within the operating system. Block those notifications, put it on Do Not Disturb, turn off your phone, throw your phone in a vat of concrete and sink it to the bottom of the ocean, whatever you need to do to make sure you don't get distracted by notifications, especially for social media, for sites that are not relevant to your task, not relevant to your project that you're trying to accomplish. And finally, number 15, co-working. A lot of people actually have a problem where they procrastinate only because they're trying to do stuff on their own. If you think about it, when did hunter-gatherers ever say, hey guys, see you later, I'm gonna go hunt woolly mammoths by myself, see you tonight? Those ancestors of ours didn't make it. The thing is, human beings have never really done things alone throughout our evolutionary history. So it might just be that you need to co-work with somebody else. What does that mean? Sitting next to them at a coffee shop, perhaps, or getting on a program like FocusMate, which is a virtual co-working program. I use it every day, 4 or 5 times a day. Or Cave Day, which is a facilitated Zoom class where you work with other people. Co-working can solve the problem for a lot of people just by having this experience of working together. It's like going to a gym. Why do people go to a gym when they can work out at home? Because there's other people working out there and they don't get distracted. People don't go to the gym to just check Facebook. You might check Facebook in between sets, but you're not going there to do that. Whereas you might go to your computer to play video games or check Facebook. As you try these different strategies, keep an experimental attitude. Some of these things will work really well for you and others won't work at all, but that's okay. You're a unique individual. What will work for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. Just keep trying things, keep experimenting, get curious about what will work for you. And you can also get coaching with someone like me for troubleshooting your productivity problems. Go to boulderhypnosisworks.com for a free 30-minute Zoom consultation. Until next time, make it a great day.